afternoon. Today's video is primarily focused on answering one question that I still receive all the time, and that is, what is the best vlogging camera? And even though the sun is set to set soon, or lack thereof of sun, because it's a pretty gloomy day, I'm gonna head down to the beach to do this comparison because I think that'll be a very interesting place to do it. So let's go. All these houses are sick. There's such a design theme present in Venice Beach houses. Like art, beautiful. I don't know what I'm talking about. Oh. Yeah. 13th witness. Yeah. What's good? All right, that was a fun little commute to the beach. The location where I'm going to be beginning today's video, which is a comparison between this camera that I'm filming on right now. Let me show you. Boom, this Sony a7S II, and this is the Sony a6500. Let's begin. Basically, today's comparison is going to be between two Sony cameras. One is the Sony a7S II, the other is the Sony a6500. These are both highly regarded as probably the best video cameras and cameras overall on the market right now. One of the most difficult decisions in life is trying to figure out what camera to buy. Trust me, I know. So let's get to it. Okay, so let me get the obvious statement out of the way, which is why am I not including Canon cameras in this mix, which is a twofold answer. I'm sure most of you probably think that I would, given the fact that it seems to be the most popular vlogging camera, Casey Neistat, etc. One thing I may add is that Casey Neistat recently switched to an a7S II and also an a7R II. So that's saying something. Secondly, I come from a strong professional videography background, not vlogging, as in like video production. And Canon is laughed out of the room in those scenarios. It's all Sony. They want FS7s, they want a7S IIs, a7R IIs. They're not looking at Canon cameras whatsoever, so neither are we for this comparison, if that makes sense. I hope it does. So real quickly, let me show you the tools we're going to be using during this comparison. And by tools, I mean lenses, basically. First off, obviously, the Sony a6500 And attached to this is the 24 to 240 3.5 to 6.3 f-stop lens. Highly recommended. This is a fantastic all-around camera. But any serious videographer probably has multiple lenses, and so do I. Place that right there. My GoPro, let me turn that off. Firstly, we have the Sigma 50 to 100 f1.8, fantastic APS-C lens. The Rokinon 14mm 2.8 autofocus lens designed for Sony bodies. Sigma 18 to 35 1.8 lens, another amazing APS-C body lens. My X workhorse lens, a 16 to 35 2.8, a Zeiss lens. And lastly, a Sony 18 to 105 f4 APS-C lens with a trigger zoom. That's a real important thing to notice about this lens. It has a zoom function. Very rare in lenses and cameras like these. So without further ado, here's our tools. Let's compare. So I think the first and most important thing that I should consider is that I use an A7S II as my daily vlogging camera. I sometimes use this A6500. Here's the thing, if you need full frame and a video camera, you're kind of limited to the A7S II. This is an APS-C body, which means every lens you put on it is going to be a little bit tighter. A little bit more into that later. I'll discuss exactly what I mean. There's a ton of advantages to using this A6500 that I'm about to demonstrate right now. And the main one is the excellent autofocus. And I mean world class. I don't think there's a camera with better autofocus than this. Let me demonstrate. All right, so I have this camera set to 60 frames, continuous autofocus. Watch what it can do. So basically, I'll just snap around. I'm not touching the shutter button at all. That's boom, autofocus. Automatically focus on that guy, created a great silhouette shot. Now I'm gonna pan over to the surfer in the water. Boom, before I'm even panned over to him, he's in focus. What about these guys over here? Where they at? Boom, in focus, got him. What about this pillar over here? Instantly in focus. This guy on a bike, instantly in focus. A major attribute to a video camera is autofocus if you need it. And this has the best autofocus, which means you can take your camera out, turn it on, hit record, point it at something, and it's in focus. That is a major thing when it comes to vlogging, when it's like, you have 24 hours to capture as many things as you can, and any second wasted on equipment that's not functioning properly, wasted time, wasted effort, you didn't get the shot, so you can't even use the footage. Basically, you wasted X amount of time, whatever you spent trying to get that shot, it's gone. So that's something I would highly consider. If you need autofocus, this is a great autofocusing camera. Probably the best. I don't think there's any camera with better autofocus. I read a lot of things about Canon's autofocus, but this uses PDAF, phase detection autofocus, which is already world class. It doesn't really get much better than that. So talking about this camera's autofocus, let's do the same thing I just did with this camera, but with the A7S II. All right, so I probably look good here because I just manually focus the camera, but watch what happens when I switch it to continuous autofocus right now and start panning around. All right, continuous autofocus on, not pressing the shutter button. Boom, snap to focus, good. All right, what's next? Not too bad. Everything's in focus so far. Focus, in focus. What about this guy right here? Can you do it? Boom, not bad. Okay, you're in focus too. Those mountains. Let's see, this might take a while. Hopefully, eventually, maybe today, sometime this week. And there we go, kinda. Yeah, that works. All right, so as you can see, there's a decent amount of hunting. How about, ooh, that's a great shot. These three girls. Got it. Make that a nice silhouette. Boom. Now that's a nice shot. But as you can see, the camera has trouble hunting back and forth between what's in the center and what's in the background. This is the situation where an A7S II should shine, honestly, because boosted board. This is a prime example of contrast autofocus at use, which is basically the A7S II uses contrast-based autofocus with about 200 less points than the A6500. Therefore, it has less reference points to focus the image upon. Basically, is the most criminally simple way I could put it. Oh my God, this looks epic. I didn't even realize what was going on. Whoa, okay, I'm gonna halt this comparison for a second so I can get some pretty shots of this sunset, because it looks amazing. doing? Like, nope. Okay, so today basically we have ascertained two things. One is that the A6500 has vastly superior autofocus to the A7S II, which is to be expected. It's a newer camera by over a year, I believe, and it costs less. So I mean, at the end of the day, the A6500 is the better camera for vlogging simply because it's half the price of the A7S II, and you get all the best features. You get 1080p, 120 frames per second, you get better autofocus. Pretty much the only two things you don't get the low light qualities of the A7S II. You don't have full frame. I think that's pretty much it. If you really need full frame, that's kind of a deal breaker. Let me demonstrate the difference between full frame and APS-C in a second, but the only other thing that it offers is a headphone jack, which you don't need unless you're monitoring your audio in a professional environment. Yeah, okay. So this is how this lens looks, 12mm 2.8 on a full frame lens. Here's the same lens on an APS-C body. So as you can see, significantly less width, which may matter to a lot of you, honestly. So that's pretty much the biggest benefit of full frame to APS-C is you get more width on all your lenses and you get better depth of field, which could translate to better low light as well. So if you guys remember Stefan, we posted his link. Apparently you guys crashed his website or something like that. That's what we did, guys. Shout out to the Hicks fam. That's crazy. Gave the homie a boost. You guys are real. In case you didn't know, you're actual people and you're helping real people out. That's what's up. Dude, as always. Cool. Pleasure to see you. Yeah, we'll run into each other soon. On the A7S II body, much wider, much more effective, especially if you're using wide angle lenses. That's kind of the point. But there's one last point. The sun is gone, so I'm sure you know where I stand. I'll continue using A7S II. A6500 is great. What they need to do is combine both cameras. Every day I become slightly more upset about the fact that I won't be able to enjoy this nearly as often as I currently do. And by that I mean I'll have to drive so far because downtown LA is not close to here. Still excited to go to downtown LA though. I think it's gonna be a really good move for me. Just all things considered, for my art, for my personal life, for everything. I'm really happy to move. Can't wait to get out of that weird suburb I'm at right now. It's like not a place I wanted to live.
Hey, I watch your videos.
Hell yeah. Pleasure to meet you. As I was saying, whoa, the whole reason that I moved down here was to be closer to my work. As in like my job prior to YouTube. So I never really wanted to move to West LA. I just kind of like felt like I had to because I used to commute an hour and a half both ways every day. As you can imagine, that was horrible on my mental health. So I had to move closer, and that's what I did. Ironically, 1 or 2 months after I moved, they cut me from my contract. They reduced my pay, they reduced my days, they pretty much reduced everything about what we were doing. So I was like, wow, I'm an idiot. Just signed a year lease on a place, kind of expensive, more than I wanted to pay, to get closer to this job, and they're about to can me. Yeah, that was not a fun time in my life. Regardless, I'm still here. I haven't been evicted, so I've been able to pay my rent, which is good. And I can't wait to move. Moving forward. Amazing. To be clear, I'm in the bike lane. I have the right of way. There was no stop sign, there's no stoplight. I was just waiting for that to happen. Good Lord. Okay, daily comment response. Here is the comment, pause the screen, etc. I like this comment. I think I'm gonna start using this segment to just kind of promote good, positive comments from people just kind of like, you know, spew their mind about whatever they think about the channel, they think about the videos, as long as it's, you know, positive stuff. You probably have a chance to show up here at the end at comment discussions. So, shout out to Hein van der Viver. I think that's how you say it. I probably completely butchered that, but leave your thoughtful comments below and you will very likely be featured in the next comment discussion for tomorrow's video. And that's gonna do it. Shout out to the Hicks fam. I love you guys. I know today was not crazy BMX heavy, but tomorrow will be. So yeah, love you guys and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace. Oh.